Hey guys, sorry the camera's busted, but this is really, you don't really need the video input for this, and I'm not real thrilled with how I look just now. My dad had a stroke a while back, and I'm afraid I took my comfort in the arms of Pop-Tarts. So I'm really just not real thrilled with my appearance. I would use another device, but this account is so damn old I don't even know the password or the login anymore. I'm trying to recover it, but I haven't had any luck yet. Anyway, this has been on my mind for about a month. This has been on my mind for about a month now, and, well, disrespect. I lost my, the woman I refer to as my wife. That's just, just, just go with it, the wife thing. It's complicated. Okay, but it was the disrespect. That's where it started going wrong. She was in nursing school for her LPN, and I think the other nurses got to her. I think that's what happened. I mean, I told her at the very beginning, I'm an artist. I'm a starving artist. I'm an author. I mean, I have some income. I have some income that I get from various sources. It's modest, but it's significant. And I did the Mr. Mom thing. Did all sorts of repairs all over the house, painted, took care of the kids. Wood furnace for heat, so I was up every 3-4 hours putting more wood in, or else the pipes would freeze. Everybody else slept through it. The cold woke me up. But the thing is, disrespect. When you start getting disrespect, you've got to shut that down immediately. I didn't even realize what was happening. Okay, and it doesn't matter if it's big or small. And you've got to fight her on the small things. Okay, because she'll test you. It'll get bigger and bigger, and you can't tolerate the tests either. You've got to go and tell her, like, listen, we're not doing this. This is the way it's going to be, or I'm going to leave. And then you fucking leave. Okay, you've got to do it. Because, or else they'll threaten me. And okay. Like, no, I'm out. Okay. And no, I'm just kidding. I'll be like, listen, come back to me in a week. Come back to me in a week. And then just ghost her completely. But the disrespect, it started with little things. Like we were really, I was making it work, okay? I was making it work. But she would buy DVDs when we had 200, like, oh, my kids, they want to, like, they never watch the movies that they have. What are you buying another one for? Cadbury eggs. I love Cadbury eggs, but, and I wasn't going to take away from the children, but I took my egg out of the shopping cart and I put it back and I left the other two in. But I didn't actually stop her, and we got to the end of the month like, oh, the kids want milk. I'm like, well, get them milk. We don't have any money left. I'm like, no problem. I went and got what she bought, and I'm like, here, they can drink the DVD. I told you not to buy that stuff. But you've got to shut it down completely. She had a dog. The dog had puppies. Most of the puppies were sold. One was kept at the biological father's house, and one we kept. And the one we kept was tearing up the house. The puppy had to go. Okay, I understood that. The puppy had to go. It was just ripping the house apart. Okay, it broke out of its crate. It was no good. Okay, I called a friend of mine from Long Island, which is 4 hours south. She was going to come up and take the puppy. She fucking took off of work. She was halfway up. I was going to meet her halfway. She was halfway to the halfway point. I was running behind. I get home. Where's the puppy? Oh, I brought it to this shelter. I'm like, I told you Tracy was coming to get the dog. She took off of work. And You know, I mean, I made her call her up and apologize. I made her pay for her gasoline. You know, but what I should have done, I should have done like go to the shelter, get the puppy, and bring her back. And then I should have like held the door shut. Like, you're not coming in this house. Like you cannot tolerate disrespect. You can't do it. And it's like, oh, it's being nice, and I'm trying to make the family unit run smooth. Like, no. And she would make these decisions. She came home with this shoebox, and she was holding the shoebox funny. I'm already dreading because I know something's up. And she gets closer, there's holes on top. She goes, look what I bought. She opens it. It's 8 baby chicks. They grow up to lay special green eggs. Out in the country, like growing your own eggs, especially now with everything going on, the tariffs and everything, and, you know, what was that, bird flu? They had to kill a whole bunch of chickens. Like, like your own chickens are a really big deal, you know, and then you can also eat chicken. I saw those things, and I'm like, oh my God. Those better be going in the fryer to make McNuggets. You know, and she went and she sold me on it. She's like, it only costs this much to feed them, and the chickens cost this much, and we're ahead by this much. And I said, okay, and I agreed. But the thing was, she didn't talk to me first. Like, we were just pennies and dollars. We were just hanging on. Okay, the stairs were broken, and I'm not a carpenter. Okay, I got some iron L brackets, I screwed them into place, and they held the stairs together. Okay, because that's what I knew how to do. That was the amount of money that I had. One of the stairs was so bad the L bracket wasn't enough, so I got like this aluminum sheet. It was like a bit of screen almost. It was less gaps than a screen, but I put it there, and it wasn't going to hold. It wasn't going to hold, but like if the step failed, the plate would bend slowly, and it would give you enough time to take your foot off the step and not fall through and, you know, rip your leg open and bleed out of your femoral artery. But the disrespect, it's got to be, no, you got to, look, the chickens were a good idea, but it's like, no, you're taking the chickens back. She came home with 2 ponies. Now, again, it was a guy, he was supposed to, you know, he was coming to the end of his military career. They said they weren't going to move him again, and then they moved him, and all of a sudden he's got to sell his brand new house and sell his brand new ponies. So we got these ponies for like 1/3 of the price that they should have been. Okay, it was a good move, but you don't do that. You don't do that. You know, and the disrespect, like you're stuck with No, you're giving this guy the ponies back, drive away. Okay, it's got to be, and if she keeps doing it, you got to leave her. Okay, because she will just keep going and going and going and pushing. There's a song. There's an old song. I don't even, you could look it up. Are you strong enough to be my man? Part of that is to defend your woman against, you know, a physical threat, but it's also, are you strong enough to stand up to her and say no? Okay, that's what you've got to do. All right, I saved this woman's life. There was a beehive living in the wall. Okay, she's allergic. She needs an EpiPen, but insurance won't pay for it until she's in the ER, which it's pretty much kind of too late then. Okay, and she complained that I made her get a beekeeper that cut open the wall, so she had to have the wall repaired, you know, the outside of the house. And the beekeeper said, like, yeah, you see this debris at the bottom? Is there any of that inside? I said, yeah, there is. Yeah, they were almost through the wall. They you know, the sheetrock would have collapsed. They would have swarmed through the house. They'd have stung everybody. She has a nonverbal autistic child. Okay? He wouldn't have been able to call for help. He wouldn't have been able to warn, and she would have been stung to death. Another time, she had bronchitis. I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me. I'm almost out of recording data anyway. I saved her life 3 times. She had bronchitis so bad that they gave her the same treatment as pneumonia. I forced her to go to the ER. Insurance wouldn't pay for an ER visit on the weekend, so I paid for it with my credit card. She got back, she normally would have been asleep. Her house caught fire. The electric guys were working on something, her house caught fire, and because she was awake when she would have been asleep, she screamed at them to shut it down, and they did, and they were able to put the fire out. They were able to delay the fire, and then the fire department came and finally overwhelmed it. And I mean, I literally saved her. Another time she was going on I-88, I think transferring from I-88 to I-90. It was a place where 3 roads converge. And a truck was coming. I could see it, she couldn't. And I'm screaming, stop the car, there's a truck. So finally, she stops, there was nobody behind us. The truck roars past, because the 18-wheelers, they can't just stop. Those things, a car is sometimes 7,000 pounds. Those things can be 80,000 pounds fully loaded. They don't just stop, okay? I saved this woman's life and the life of her children. And then, when I finally stood up for myself and said, we're not doing this, and she still, I kept doing the work around the house. That's the problem. I should have just, the stuff that we agreed to do, I should have, like, you're not going to do your end? Fine, I'm not doing anything on my end. Now, I saved her life, and now I'm not good enough to spend 1 hour a year with the children to give them a goddamn birthday present. Okay, this is what's in store for you if you don't stand up to your woman. You've got to do it, okay? The games are not right, they're not fair, but most women, they do it just a little bit. You've got to stand up every time. Like I said at the beginning, you've got to fight every fight, or else you're going to get a whole lot more and it'll never stop.